Welcome to Queer Narratives Beirut, a podcast about gender and sexual diversity in Lebanon's capital. You're listening to episode 7, Beirut Pride, part 2, Detained, with Hadi Damien, produced by me, Joy Stacey.
The third day of Beirut Pride 2018, the third day over 9 days, was quite a fruitful day, quite an eventful day. It was Monday, May 14th. During the day we had political meetings, quite promising political meetings about LGBT in general. Then, about 6 p.m., we announced in Batshig the corporate pledge, this project of Beirut Pride that seeks to reach out to companies, business owners, and professional platforms to address hate and discrimination against LGBT employees, staff, and clients. Afterwards, our schedule would take us to Zukok Theatre House, where we would be having a reading of a theatre play called Ogre in French, that we translated into Arabic, into spoken Lebanese, that was going to be read, followed by a conversation, a discussion, and then followed by a party. It was a very important evening, and the play is a compilation of stories that speak about homophobic aggressions, crimes. It was a statement, a very important one. Doors of this evening were supposed to open at 8 p.m. for the reading to start sometime between 8:30 and 9 p.m. 10 past 8, I receive a call from a lady who works at Zukok, saying that something terrible is happening because officials or officers from the general security came to the venue saying that there would be no way for this reading to take place. I asked her to let me speak to them over the phone. They say that they are people from the censorship unit, from the general security, and that the reading cannot take place because Zukok did not reach out to a censorship approval for the text. I tell the guy that usually for a reading we never require a prior censorship approval. And then when it was clear that the conversation will not be over the phone, I told him that I was on my way and that we will discuss things face to face. He said that he would be waiting for me. We have quite a few lawyers on board for Beirut Pride. Call them, and the first lawyer who picks up the phone is Layal Saer, a very sweet, articulate, and solid lawyer. I tell her that this is happening, and then if she would be available to accompanying me, she concurs. I pick her up, and we go to Zukok Theatre Company. On our way, the phone rings. It was another gentleman from Zukok telling me that many officers have arrived to the venue, all of them asking for me. He said that there were about 5 security units present in Zukok. People from the general security, people from the intelligence unit, from the security of the state, from the vice squad, and from the censorship department. We arrived to Zukok. Quite a lot of people had left, terrified at what might happen, any possible escalation, any possible things that might go out of hand. They might be subjected to arbitrary mass detentions, and this used to happen before. We can't blame people for wanting to protect themselves and to leave. We go to this room with about 12 officials or officers in civil, so they were not wearing their uniforms. And first thing, we were trying to understand what's happening with this reading of the play. The gentleman of Zukok asks the officer from the censorship unit that he reminds him that a couple of weeks ago they had visited them, asking them if a censorship approval would be needed for the reading. And the gentleman from the censorship had said no, because it's a reading, no tickets are being sold, and the public is a niche public. And then I ask him, I'm like, since it's a no, then what changed? And the officer says, laws have changed. Well, we know that nothing changed. And this is when we understood that it was something different. Then they started asking questions about Beirut Pride. Why Beirut Pride is happening, why it's taking place, what is its program, what it is about, and so on. Directly referred them to the website. Everything is present in 3 languages, especially the presentation and the positioning of Beirut Pride that is available in French, Arabic, and English. And then we asked them, we said that, okay, should the reading not be taking place? Can we still have the discussion and the party people are outside in the other room waiting for us? He said yes, but no reading. Here some people wanted to take the reading to a private place, and there was a discussion about it, if it can take place, happen, blah, blah, blah. The phone was ringing quite a lot. I got a gentleman from the Vice Squad asking for a meeting with me the next day, on Tuesday, May 15th, at 11 a.m. at the Vice Squad place in the police station of Habish. Very well. It's his right to ask questions, and it's very normal to answer. So there was no offense taken, from my side at least. I had just hung up with him that I received other phone calls from other officers from the Vice Squad asking me to come to their station the next day. I am like, okay, it's already sorted. We spoke to the gentleman who operates there and he's expecting me. So there was this confusion. And here having all these people calling you, it's like there's something pushing everybody to do something about it. About pride, obviously. Because here we were not anymore into the performance and the play. Actually, it was not a play, it was a text that we were reading. Less than 30 minutes later, after most gentlemen had left from the security offices, 2 officers enter the room, storm in the room, ask who was Hadi. So I say, it's me. They said, you have to come with us immediately to the police station. Okay. With the lawyer, we went to the car, making sure to tell all those who were still present in Zukok that it's okay, it's pride, keep on your smile. Why is your face so black? Why are you so embarrassed? Just be relaxed. All is well and things will continue. Because at the end of the day, we still know what you are doing. And we know that there is nothing that we did incorrectly for anything to happen against us. On the way to the police station, the gentleman said that there is nothing to be worried about, it's just a few questions that you want to ask, and then we'll bring you back to the theater venue to continue your event. We get to the police station, and there I understand that I were to stay the night. And I stayed the night in the detention cell with 39 other detainees, knowing that the cell we stayed in was a cell made to fit 5 people. So we were 39 in a cell for 5 people. We know that conditions of detention are not optimal in Lebanon. They are very far from being acceptable, actually. I was the only one to be arrested within Beirut Pride. They took my phone. They took my phone. I mean, they asked me to shut my phone down, pull it in the locker, remove my bracelet, remove my belt, and I was put in the cell. Funny enough, everything was removed. My shoes stayed outside, obviously. And I was left with this Beirut Pride bracelet, 2018. At a certain moment, I was leaning against the wall and I was playing with this bracelet, quite amused that symbolically it feels like I was locked in with Beirut Pride. When I went in, it should have been about 11 p.m. Detainees started talking to me, asking what I had done, why I was here, etc. At a certain moment, I asked them to give me some space because I needed to collect my ideas. I suddenly remembered my theater breathing techniques, so I was properly breathing, trying to contain all the anxiety and all the stress around this. I was thinking how to keep all the activities of Beirut Pride ongoing, the activities that were scheduled until May 20, 2018. I was also very much concerned with how to contain the disappointment of people, especially the young people, but also people who are in their 70s, 60s, who are looking at Beirut Pride from far and observing it and following it. I was also quite thinking of what attitude I shall adopt during interrogation, because officially I was told that I was in this detention room awaiting my interrogation. So in my mind, interrogation was supposed to happen at any time that night. Quite a gloomy prospect, saying that your interrogation is going to take place in the middle of the night, in probably what is the most infamous police station of Beirut, where you have a lot of reports and accounts of human rights violations and intense interrogation methods and techniques. I was even wondering if I am to be physically pushed or violented. Am I to be stiff? Is my body to be soft and malleable so I cause less damage to myself? How am I to answer the questions? If they ask me if I am gay, shall I say it's a personal question, and then, or am I to say yes, I am gay? Am I to say no, I'm not gay, so I have less damage? So it was quite a lot, because you hear a lot of accounts, you hear a lot of stories. Lawyers have different positions when it comes to answering these questions. I knew I was not arrested because I'm Hadi, that to the people who arrest me, they are arresting the head of Beirut Pride. So it was not only me getting out of trouble on a physical and personal level. And from the beginning, I was aware of these things. From the first day we initiated Beirut Pride, we were aware that we can go through things like this. Then, at 11 a.m., I'm brought into the office of the gentleman who's in charge of the vice squad. I start by introducing myself. I tell him what I do. I ask him who he was. He introduces himself. And then he tells me that he had a problem with the program of Beirut Pride. I said the program of Beirut Pride is available on the website, beirutpride.org. There's nothing about it. He said, I have it on my phone. I replied, why would you have a screenshot when you can access it directly? He says, no, I have it as a text. I'm like, impossible, because It's not available as a text. He said, I have it in Arabic text on my WhatsApp. I'm like, yes, this is a fabricated program. He says, how can you say this? You haven't seen it. I'm like, because we never released it in Arabic. And when you say you have a problem with this program, this means that there is something wrong with this program. I know myself, I know people around me, and I know very well how we present things. Can I see this program? He shows it to me. First thing I tell him, this is not Beirut Pride program because A, we will not be using this kind of emoticons, emojis, because there were some emojis in the program. And then I'm like, when Beirut Pride is presenting its program, we will never use words in Arabic like faggots and dykes and perverts. So again, it's not our program. I look at the program, I read it. What the people who shared it on WhatsApp did, they simply went on the website of Beirut Pride or on the social media of Beirut Pride, selected some of the events that were taking place, translated their title into Arabic, added some sensational words, such as, this is an event where there will be striptease and there will be encouraging of debauchery, immorality, blah, blah, blah. And they even mixed locations and dates. So all what I had to do was to ask him to open his laptop or his phone, go on the website of Beirut Pride, and compare the event as we are putting it with what he has on WhatsApp. It became clear to him and to all the people in the room that this was indeed a fabricated program. The gentleman asked an officer to write down my declaration for me to read it and to sign it so they could call the general prosecutor of Beirut to see what they would be doing. After the declaration was written, after I read it, after I signed it, they called the general prosecutor of Beirut, who is a judge, who said that despite this program being a fabricated program, there was a lot of noise and drama around this thing. So these activities are not to take place. As for Hadi, he has two options. If he wants to get out of jail, he is to provide us with a declaration of residence. So, if we are to prosecute him, we can inform him on this address and make him sign a paper, a pledge, in which he says that he is aware of my decision that the events are suspended and that he will not be changing the name of the event or switching locations of the events for the event to be taking place. Should he not proceed like this, then we will be officially arresting him, sending him to the investigative judge. He will be, according to this Arabic translation of the program, charged for organizing or coordinating events that are a perturbation for general order, that are inciting to debauchery and immorality. At the beginning, I didn't want to sign anything. I'm like, I'm no criminal. We didn't do anything wrong. That's it. The advice of the lawyer was totally different. And it was very clear. You can do much more when you are outside of jail. This is the decision of the judge. You can't do anything about it. This is his decision. He is the general prosecutor. If you want anything to be retrieved or anything to be properly worked, you need to do it. For you to be able to do it, you cannot be locked in. So yes, I gave them a declaration of my residence, I signed the paper that says that I am informed of the decision of the general prosecutor. And I left the police station about 3 p.m. on Tuesday, May 15, 2018. Less than an hour later, I was already home, showered, working on the statement of Beirut Pride, explaining what had happened. I then visited the lawyer. We had a couple of meetings afterwards with people from Beirut Pride, and we had to deal with the massive interest and media coverage that followed. On the short term, the suspension of the activities of Beirut Pride is not amusing. Some people lost money. Disappointment was very big. There was a lot of confusion, as some people thought that I cancelled the events of Beirut Pride for me to get out of jail. Some people even said that the whole thing started because Zukok did not get a censorship approval of the reading, and that we knew about it and yet we didn't properly contain it, which is incorrect, obviously. And we were quite impressed with the massive support and positive messages that we received, that we are still receiving. And you realize that when you have so many people who believe in what you are doing, you are not allowed to be weak, and you are not allowed to disappoint them, and you are not allowed to only focus on the negative things while you are dismissing these positive, marvelous comments and support. On the medium and long term, things are fabulous. Everything is doing very well. Now, for those who never understood why Beirut Pride was political, I believe now they did. So, this happening even brought people closer to our convictions. Furthermore, this incident gave us a tremendous attention, both on local media and international media. And we know for a fact that Beirut Pride going to jail and getting out of jail is very much different from Beirut Pride before Monday, May 14th, 2018. It doesn't mean that we are bitter. It doesn't mean it is the end of the world. It doesn't mean Beirut Pride is suspended. Beirut Pride is safe. Beirut Pride is flourishing. Its initiatives continue. Its projects are even better, bigger, more developed. Now, more people want to be on board. More people want to assist. And we're doing fabulously well. Very, very well.
With special thanks to Hadi Damien. Share your narrative. Email queernarrativesbeirut@gmail.com with your written or phone recorded stories, and we'll publish them on our website. Anonymity guaranteed. Queer Narratives Beirut is a collaboratively produced word-of-mouth podcast, made with support from Mansion and the Outpost magazine, and produced alongside the Radio Mansion project in June 2018, supported by Chase Consortium. Share your stories and find out more at queernarrativesbeirut.com.